Good morning. Welcome to my special podcast for resilience in the time of coronavirus. I've been saying that for quite some time. Coronavirus is quite of a buzzword and the key topic of every venue in the world. I'm working from home, but I've been also working remotely for a number of years, which is not really new to me. I spoke to individuals around the globe. Almost everyone I speak to or reach out to, they're working from home. Today's guest is Angella Clarke-Jervois. Did I get your name right? Okay.
You got it. You nailed it, Wael.
Angela is joining me from Bahrain. She works for EY. She has over 20 years of recruitment and leadership experience, working in 4 cities and 3 different countries. Her career began with surprise stint of unemployment. She describes it as the best learning she could have. It enabled her to identify with people looking for work or seeking a new career for greater meaning and professional fulfillment. Angela is married. She has an energetic, wonderful 6-year-old son and a Springer Spaniel rescue dogs. Angela, good to have you on my podcast.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure, Wael.
Thank you. As we were talking in the waiting room, being stationed in Bahrain, things are quite different than the majority of destinations or other cities. But remote work is not really new to you. So please tell me about it.
No, it's not. Yeah, I'm happy to. I've been working remotely for, I think, close to 10 years, around about 8 years. And I manage a virtual team of people in about 6 different countries. And I'm part of a global leadership team. And so although I have an office here and great colleagues around me, I am the only one of my whole team in this country region. And I've been working remotely for quite some time. And I have to say I've adapted to it and I really enjoy it.
Amazing. And you could be the only guest I spoke to so far who's been doing remote work for that long period of time. So how does it feel like? Given the situation slightly is different now and we're almost fully stationed at home.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I kind of feel like I've been working remotely before it was even a thing. And part of that was the necessity of the job and having to be flexible, having to be available when people needed you, which may have been outside office hours and so on. So how does it feel to be fully stationed at home? Well, I really have to work very consciously about carving out some workspace so that I can focus. And I'm very lucky to be able to have a space that I can come to and concentrate and get my work done. But one thing I notice, and has pretty much always been the case with remote working, is your working day really extends. You don't have the natural boundaries and the natural breaks of people coming up to you and having a chat, or closing up your laptop at the end of the day, getting in the car and driving home. So setting those boundaries is even though I've been doing it for a long time, is really much more important at this time. I'm lucky that I've got a really supportive family setup. My husband, who works for himself, he's been able to do the homeschooling now, where we've just gone over a month of that. So we've adapted quite well, which does put me in a really privileged position, because many parents I know in my own team have got their kids homeschooling in the living room with them. So for me, I feel like I've been pre-prepared through all the experience that I've had, but I'm very lucky that I've got this space that I can come to and work, and my family is so supportive of me being able to take that time. I feel very lucky.
Yeah, it's wonderful to know that. I spoke to a number of organizations lately as well, and some of them were quite ready, plug and play, send employees to to their homes, and then start working as nothing changed. But some other organizations are struggling, in keeping them, keeping business as usual is one thing.
Yeah.
Also managing people remotely. So what do you think organizations can do when this is all over for them to be able to ready in the near future?
Yeah, that's true. I think the organisation I work for was really forward thinking and did invest some time ago in the right kind of technology, and the companies that haven't been able to invest in that technology will be finding that it's difficult. But it's not just the technology platforms to enable people to do their job. It's actually prepping your people, making sure that your people are comfortable, able, and can adapt to working remotely. There are 2 different things there. And leading teams is different in times of working remotely. I've been lucky, as I've had a virtual team for a long time. I've deliberately hired people who are already able, willing, and very comfortable with the idea of remote working, because actually that transition's a tough one. And where I haven't been prepared for that myself or people who've been in my team, it does take longer, and you really have to, there's no guarantee that it will work out because it is such a different way of working and engaging. So it's about preparing not just for the technology to support the remote working, but preparing the people to adapt and continue to do their work. And what's interesting, I was talking about this in my own MENA team this week, is remote working has an amazing silent blessing to it, which is trust. There is an implied trust that your people will know their job and will be trusted to get on and do their job and to continue to deliver as best they can. And I think it's wonderful, particularly as remote working is new for many people, to feel that trust and to have it bestowed upon them in a necessity, but actually to be given that freedom to go and deliver their work and be judged not on where they are or how long they're at that desk, but on what they're producing and the quality of their work. And I think this is a silver lining that I see for those companies and those teams who've really been behind in embracing what virtual working can give people.
Yeah, certainly. I do agree with you because, trust, mindset, being engaged, being able to, to deliver remotely is one of the things that organizations needs to focus on as well. But scaling and reskilling, because right now we're getting into that total virtual world. So I guess this is a great opportunity for people to start learning different skills as well. But technology, even though that we would start working on the skill set and the mindset and the approach of how to work remotely, but technology also matters a lot. So what kind of platforms you use for, your normal remote work and giving also these circumstances?
Let me just say that when I first started working remotely, and actually when I first started working with people I couldn't see in person, I'm going back 20 years now, I had a phone. Everyone's got a phone. So even if you don't use any other platforms, remember you've got a phone. And I think the best way to connect with someone is to have a conversation. So if all else fails, you've got a telephone and you can dial someone. But to what do I use? We use Zoom, Microsoft Teams. We've been using Skype for a long, long time. In fact, I used to work for Skype a long time ago. And what we found is we've had to build up the capacity of our Skype capability. But Zoom, Teams, WhatsApp even, all of those have been available, and I'm part of a network of professionals like me who are exploring other technology as well. So there's a lot of other things, and it's really about not just being able to have a conversation, but to share information, to create information, so whiteboards, polls, so all those interactive type of features that you want to have to help augment your conversation are all out there. And I don't think there's any one solution. You've got to work out what's right for you and your organisation. But never forget, if all else fails, pick up the phone.
True, I agree with you. And one of the things, I was talking to a marketeer yesterday in a different kind of venue. And one of the things he said to me, I'm back to email and telephone. Right now I write, half-page kind of email for sales pitch and so on, and also pick up the phone and speak to individuals, not only conferencing via video and so on, but keeping motivated, keeping energetic as your 6 years old son, right? So how do you keep that sort of spirit day to day?
Yeah, this is so important, and it differs from everybody, right? For me, I think just having a 6-year-old in the house, you can't help but think on your feet and respond according to their needs. For me, exercise is absolutely part of my mental health diet, and it has been for many years. So whether it's getting outside and just having a walk in the fresh air, whether it's doing something like a boot camp or yoga, whatever it is, I have to make sure I move. And I know that if I'm starting to feel tetchy or grouchy, I absolutely have to go and move, even if it's jumping around to a song on the radio for 5 minutes. So I think that shaking yourself out of, your screen time is really vital, and physically moving your body is just something that helps me with my energy. Keeping up the liquids and making sure you have a good diet, I think that is sadly, not sadly, but it's really a basic thing. If you don't have good fuel in your body, you're not going to perform well, you're not going to be able to concentrate. And actually, I find virtual working, concentrating is really hard because there's so many distractions. You might think there's more distractions in an office, but actually I think the virtual distractions are really insidious sometimes. So you've got to be in the right frame of mind, well rested, hydrated, and taking time away from your screen as part of your, I call it your daily diet. So non-digital diet, let's say. So it's a combination of factors, sort of moving, what you eat, your time away from the screen, getting good sleep, practicing good technology hygiene. Personally, I don't use a lot of social media. That works for me. But I have a lot of friends and neighbours who do, and they're really having to limit or control how much they consume just for how they feel and their own personal energy. So there's just more awareness. It's amplified the need to really take care of yourself and the time that you spend in front of a screen at the moment.
Absolutely, and keeping balanced, keeping centered, and staying focused. Well, Angela, thank you so much for sharing your insights. I'm confident everyone will like what you said, and look forward to have you in my next broadcast as well.
I'd be delighted to. Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Appreciate it.